Hello? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Oh my gosh, I had to hold myself back from laughing because there was someone in front of line of me talking about that movie, like asking the woman about it. I was just like, that's so funny.
Well, it's something saying that like that is actually something I picked up from Corey.
Huh.
Yeah. Although I was familiar with the book myself, I had never. One day Corey said it. I thought it was funny, and I
It's
copped
funny.
it. Anyhow, what's the unexpected thing, you might wonder? Well, unexpectedly, I'm live streaming. The reason it's unexpected is because I didn't get my Adderall. I was expecting to get Adderall and then come home and stream. But of course, CVS, in conjunction with federal authorities and other ne'er do wells, wants to test me. They want to push my limits by being difficult. But on Monday, I'm going to go back in there and say, okay, listen, do you have my drugs today? If they still don't have them, I'm going to say, all right, let me talk to the pharmacist. And I'm going to say, I get this is not your fault that you don't have these drugs, but I'd like to solve this problem. So I'd like you to give me the contact information for the person whose fault it is. I think it's a pretty nifty ploy there.
Yeah, I do too.
Is it really a problem with the manufacturer? Is it the distributor? What's going on here? Tell me the truth. I want to know what's going on. And we'll see what he does and says. Hopefully, he doesn't try to lie to me. Because I don't like that.
No, you don't like that.
It's a good way to get yourself in big trouble with Eric.
Um, can I have a light?
Yes.
Thank
Information. Oh, notification. That's what it says.
you.
I don't have my glasses on.
It's about the live stream.
It's notifying you that you're live streaming?
Yes.
Good. You need to be notified about those sort of things. We just got back from Oakhurst where we did not have my Adderall, but where we also went to see Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, Volume 3, I believe it's called. And I will say I'd give it an A minus, maybe a 92%. So like barely an A, but not also better than an A minus. I'd give it a 92. Whereas I'd give the Dungeons and Dragons movie we saw about an 87. This was 5 points better
Yeah,
than
it
the
was.
Dungeons and Dragons
It
movie.
was. Yeah.
I would give the first Guardians of the Galaxy movies, both of the first two ones, probably 95.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of them that I liked better, 96. And other MCU movies that would score that high include only two of them. um, Infinity War, and Thor Ragnarok. So that's pretty high score. Those are the only MCU movies that I would score potentially higher than the Guardian of the Galaxies 1 and 2 would be those two, Infinity War and Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok, I'd give a 99. I don't know if you're allowed to give 100 or not. I don't know if I want to quite give 100. Like, even if I think something's perfect, I still is just going to give it 99.9 maybe. But I'm giving Thor Ragnarok 99. I'm also going to give Infinity War 99. I really liked Infinity War a lot too. In fact, I'm going to give Infinity War, no, I'm going to give it 99. It's going to tie. I really like Thor Ragnarok a lot too. What are some other movies that scored that high on the Eric movie scale that are not MCU movies? Well, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I give
That's
that
a
a
good
99. Um, Tropic Thunder. I'm going to give Tropic Thunder a 99.
Wow.
That's a really brilliant film.
It is.
It's so good. What was another movie that gets 99? Mm, well, you tell me some of your movies that you can think about that you would give high A's to, and tell me what they are and what high
I
A's you
always
give.
forget. Like, it doesn't occur to me until like I see a list of movies that I'm like, oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that one too.
You know what gets a 99 despite being nearly impossible to watch because it's so FI? Is that one with, I guess it's Ethan Hawke in
Oh
Europe
yeah, I
with the
like that one
train.
a lot. Before Sunrise.
Before Sunrise.
Yeah.
Is a compelling, powerful, interesting film. But you've got to have a lot of tolerance for FI. Because the thing about that movie is it really makes you feel like you're in the shoes of the characters. You can feel those same emotions. It makes you squirm with emotion worms. But excellent film. One of the most, like, after I was done watching it, just like, wow, amazing.
I'm so glad you feel that way. That's like on my top 10 list for sure.
Really good.
Yeah, it's a really good film. Actually, I discovered that through my sister.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
So, the INFJ learned from the ISFJ
Mm-hmm.
about a good movie on this occasion.
Yep.
Okay, so anything else pop out to you? I know you like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, it. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
What score do you give it?
I don't know. It's hard for me to think about it like objectively.
What score do you give the movie Big with Tom Hanks?
Oh, I like that movie. An 85.
All right, so I'm gonna give that a 90 for me. I think.
Okay.
And it's a good baseline, I think. If that's 85 for you, it's a good baseline for what 85 is. So, if that's an 85, what's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
I mean, it's like a really good movie. Cinematography. It won for cinematography or screenplay, actually, or whatever. Or script.
Cinematography.
Cinematography was good. What that did. I don't know if it did actually. It's good. What would I give it? An A? A 90?
90? Okay. What would you give the film Saving Private Ryan?
Ooh. The is gonna be a tough one. I have never seen the whole thing because I have been afraid of being emotionally attached to the characters.
It's definitely a bit of a tearjerker.
Yeah. But I have to see it because I'm a movie fan.
But I don't think I didn't find it traumatizing in the
Okay,
way
that's
that say I
good.
found Platoon traumatizing.
Okay, that's good. Because Platoon is supposed to be like fucking messed up.
Yeah, it's horrible. Alec T, here's the deal. You don't have to pick a favorite movie. We're playing. What score do you give movies on a score of 1 to 100? And
Yeah.
how many movies make it into the high 90s for you? So, also let's talk about some of our lowest scoring movies.
Ooh.
I'm gonna give Aquaman.
Oh my god, Aquaman was so fucking bad.
I'm gonna give Aquaman a 24. 24.
Alright, I'm gonna go with that too.
It can, Alec T, but I haven't handed one out yet.
I haven't handed one out either.
I've handed out some 99s, but I haven't handed out 100.
So maybe in a 95 for me would be Wet Hot American Summer because I've now watched that maybe 5 times and I still laugh at it.
Well, see, you and I have a slightly different experience with that. I found it significantly less good the second time I saw it.
Oh man, that's such a disappointment. I'm so sorry.
Well, I was one who wanted to see it again.
Oh man.
But comedy doesn't repeat as well as other kind of movies
No, it doesn't.
do. Like Nightmare Before Christmas gets a bit of a cheat on replayability because it kind of gets kind of a cheat in replayability because it's a holiday film and it's a musical film. So because you don't get sick of good songs like you do just watching a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know one of the movies you watched the most amount of times is that cartoon. What's it called?
Oh.
Of the Heart.
Whisper of the Heart.
Whisper of the Heart. That's
I've
one.
seen that a lot.
You've seen that a lot of times.
Yeah.
What do you give that one?
It's a little sweet, so I can't really say this for everyone.
Well, I mean, okay, so you want to make everything universalist. Okay, that makes sense.
It's still a good movie, though.
I like
85.
85?
I don't.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, I don't think anime works as well in movie form as it does in episode form.
Although I do love, what's
Kiki's Delivery Service?
Yeah, I do. That's another one that I've watched more than once as well.
I think it's probably, it's tough to grade those ones, right, as movies because
It's kind of its own thing.
yeah, well, it's tough for me to grade Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
Because Delilah was so into it as a little girl.
Yeah.
You prefer a few other Ghibli movies to that one? Well, pick a movie that you can give a score to, Alec T.
Yeah.
Think of a movie that you think is a 95 or above, and tell us what it is.
Even if it is like a Ghibli movie. What Ghibli movies would
or
you...
any movie that you put 95 or above, and then we'll tell you if you're wrong.
So I really like... Okay, so Anchorman's always been one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
I like Step Brothers too.
Step Brothers is also good.
I didn't like Old School as much. Like I thought it was funny, but I
don't think I saw it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard for me to give like straight up comedies like that a super high score, but I agree with your choice of 2 comedies to pick there. Both of those are very good. Also, Three Amigos.
Three Amigos is great.
Excellent film.
That's like gotta be an A. It's gotta, cause like I think that even like I saw it as a child and I liked it.
Here's extroverted intuition in the second slot. Also, I do not like to rate very different things on the same scale, such as how can a comedy and drama be on the same sliding grading scale? I need to think.
The Wind
Welcome.
Rises. I've never seen that one.
Welcome to extroverted intuition in the second slot. I haven't seen The Wind Rises either. Obviously, Star Wars: A New Hope,
Oh yeah,
1977's
New
New
Hope.
Hope is a fantastic film.
Yeah,
as
so
is
Empire
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And I also like Return of the Jedi
I
a
like
lot.
Return of the Jedi too, and I actually like all of the Lord of the Rings movies too. I think all three of those were great.
Lost in Translation is a great movie.
Yeah, Lost in Translation. We watched that together, right?
Yeah, we did.
That is a great movie.
What do you give it, Rachel?
I give it a 90. I'm giving a lot of 90s out. Should I give it like a little bit more than a 90? Oh, fuck.
I'm giving it 92 or 93
Alright.
even.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely like Bill Murray's best performance. I mean,
it's quite a powerful film.
Yeah, it is, and maybe Scarlett Johansson's. I know everyone loves her as Black Widow, and she's obviously Black Widow, but it's just like one of her earlier movies, and she's so good at playing the role of the main character so well.
But her absolute best performance ever is her role in the Olive Garden commercials on Saturday
Oh my God, yes.
That's her
so
best
good.
work.
So good. She's so funny in it.
So check this shit out.
We have to get public opinion.
What do you guys think about this? The mailman lady left us a note.
Well, Arrival is good. We liked Arrival too.
They're saying they're going to. Delivery service may be suspended until the faults are corrected. Well, who did we contact about this? What box was checked here? The approach to your box should be filled and properly graded and kept unobstructed at all time. Getting too muddy. Why is there no contact information about this? Why is there no...
I've never seen Dunkirk. I've heard it's good though. That's frustrating that there's no number. There should be. There should.
Yeah. Ridiculous. I want there to be contact information on that.
movies are pretty good. I don't know which one's my favorite.
I can't believe that cunt.
And we're gonna get in trouble if we don't do something about it.
No, I'm gonna go complain about it. Getting too muddy. I drove my Mini Cooper up to that same mailbox in which she put that note.
No, she didn't put that note in there. She left it at the door.
Oh. Well, I got mail out of that mailbox.
Yeah,
today.
you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's some mud there. It's a rural postal route. And it's not even our land. It's the county road. That's county road. How the fuck are we supposed to be responsible for that? I'm gonna go to the post office and complain about this shit. And take pictures of it to show them what it looks like. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. I don't. I'm like at a loss. Tea drives me nuts. Like, I don't know. But Eric should definitely say something for sure. I think Aladdin is a good movie. It's probably in the B section. I like Lion King as a Broadway play probably more than. Although, like, I was young when I saw it, so it's like hard for me to not like it because I liked it then because I was a kid. Princess Bride gets an A. What don't I like? What? Oh, I hated Human Centipede gets a 19. If even that, like Human Centipede was like so gross. I hated it. Oh, there's another one to like Eden's Lake or something like that. Eden's Lake. That one was terrible. I was like so like I did not like watching that movie. No.
I guess we'll just go buy gravel someplace. And fucking put down some gravel.
I mean, if you want to talk to the post office, we can definitely do that.
Let me think about it.
Okay. I've never had to deal with the post office like this before.
Well, we got all this bag of sand. I just pour sand in there.
Yeah, right?
Then make them come back and put it in other things they don't like it. I guess that's what I should do. Just put a bunch of sand in there.
I guess. Does it specify anything?
Yeah, it specifies gravel.
No, but I meant like the number 8. Approach to your box should be filled and properly graded and kept unobstructed at all times.
Yeah, so I guess we gotta do that.
Yeah.
It says filled though.
Yeah, should be filled and properly graded.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's the side of the road. It's like the gutter.
Right.
And they're complaining that our gutter's not paved. Like, come the fuck on.
She even said it wasn't our like property. It's the Sierra or whomever else it could be, a company.
It's where the gutter and the curb would be if our street had a gutter and a curb.
Yes.
Tell the people that.
Like our mailbox is where she's talking about, where like the muddy area should have gravel, is where the street would be.
It's where the gutter and the curb would be.
Yeah.
If our street had a gutter and a curb.
Yeah. If our street had a gutter and curb, it would be on the street part. So really, like, it should be done by not us, but I don't.
The reason it's like that is because the telephone company dug it up and put cables there.
Yeah, and the reason it's like that is because the electric company, telephone company, dug it up and put wires there, and they didn't fill it properly. So they need to be the people, I guess, who fill it.
So I guess we're gonna have to call the telephone company.
Yeah.
Or you know what?
I did. Remember, I did, and they were like, "We don't have an."
But let's go in there with pictures of.
Yeah.
Go in there on Monday with pictures of the thing with that piece of paper.
Okay.
And be like, look, that's not our land. You guys are the ones who are doing work on it. We're not going to be able to get mail anymore if you don't fix it. So can you please fix it?
Yes. Buongiorno, misfortune.
Well, it's when it's your tool function, you err towards being non-definitive about things. Whereas if TI is your tool function, like mine is, or if FI were your tool function, you'd be much more like willing to just take a question at face value and answer it rather than critiquing the parameters of the question like that. Hi Abraham, how are you? I didn't invite you to our wedding, but it's only because I assume you can't possibly make it. You know, you can't make it out here by July 8th. You're in Norway fishing, farming fish. I didn't even know you could grow fish in a field. I thought you had to have them in water. I'm getting married, you know. So that's pretty good.
You have to call your aunt and uncle in.
Right, right. Yeah, I got this mail order bride coming over named Ching Chang Choin.
Mm.
Oh, really? I'm marrying this lady right here, actually. No mail order brides for me. July 8th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Congratulations to you guys as well
Yes, congratulations.
upon your nuptials.
Yes.
Good job, you know, stop living in sin. You don't want to live in sin and Jesus will get mad. You stink pot. My torch is being a stink pot right now. Where's that long letter?
I don't know. Did it get stuffed into the couch?
I think I might have left it outside, but I bet there's
Oh.
some other lighters stuck into the couch, maybe. A lot of lighters get sucked into here. How the slabs fall into place. Yep, they sure do. The slabs, they're run, in case you didn't know, by the Holy Ghost. Yeah.
I didn't know.
He's kind of the executive branch of God.
Cool.
Jesus is the judicial branch. But it's a judicial branch that always finds everybody not guilty. Not really. It finds them guilty, but then it forgives them. It doesn't put them in jail.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And then God is, of course, the legislature. He makes the laws.
Oh, wow. It's true. Wow.
You can also think of it like this. God invests, the Holy Ghost spends, and Jesus saves.
Mm. The Holy Ghost spends.
Yeah. God invests, the Holy Ghost spends, and Jesus saves. So, use this.
Yeah.
I'll go get the long one. So we are going to get, sounds like, my cousin Brian probably to marry us. He's a pastor, preacher, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if he's legal to marry us in California, but if we need to have some other officiants to make it legal, we could get another officiant just to make it legal. Probably just need like a notary public, not a rotary public. A notary public. So, well, we might have to go to the courthouse or something if he can't marry people in California.
Okay.
We need to call her about that.
Yeah, we do. Hi, Pee-Pee. Hello. Oh, yeah.
So, there's been two things that could potentially get me mad today happen.
Yeah.
The first of them being the absence of Adderall on its desired and appropriate day. The second of them being this mailman thing. I think we're probably just going to have to concede defeat on the mailman thing.
Okay, bravo.
And just, well, we're, talk to the telephone
Oh
company.
yeah. We gotta talk to the telephone company.
So, I mean, how finicky can you be? The surprise mail and bags thing? Well, I mean, the thing is, I didn't like their attitude today at the pharmacy.
Yeah, I didn't either.
The
I don't
thing
know
is,
what it was.
I get it that maybe they don't have my drug in stock, but I don't like the kind of just shady, side-eye kind of yeah I got.
Yeah, I didn't either. I felt judgment.
So I'll go back Monday. Hopefully my drugs will be there. If not, there's gonna be some conversation. But I don't intend to get angry. So I'm most effective when I'm mad but not angry. And I don't really feel inclined to be angry right now because number one, I don't miss Adderall that much. Like I'm pretty happy right now. I'm feeling pretty good about things. I think I'm settling in to appreciating this new life here in this pleasant place with Rachel doing pleasant things like going to the movies or just watching a hockey game or something, you know. There is a hockey game coming on tonight at 5 o'clock that I'm kind of interested in watching. This may turn at some point into a hockey watch party and then probably segue into the end of the live stream.
Me too.
But anyway, this is 2 live streams in one day with 0 Adderall. The internet is busy telling everyone they have ADHD and or autism and or something about genitals.
Yeah, that's pretty damn accurate.
You have ADHD, autism, and penis envy. Aren't you glad I finally diagnosed you, Susie? Misfortune, you have the same 3 diseases. Misfortune is happy we have found a slice of peace and joy. We have found a slice of peace and joy. And I think it's just taking us a long time to get used to that reality. You know, we're accustomed to life sucking to varying degrees, right? Either a very little bit of suckage at its best or a lot of suckage at its worst, but always suckage. And now there's nothing about life that sucks. You know? It's really very pleasant. But then I encounter a couple of things that in a general environment of suckage would make me both mad and angry. But right now, it just makes me mad. Like, I don't like it conceptually. It bothers me. Both of these things. Yes, I get what you're saying, Abraham, and I'm glad to hear you say that because that is the credo of Eric. Shame monkeys need to be shamed. But I'm growing up a bit, you know, a little bit. And I'm recognizing that sometimes you gotta be a whore. You know, like sometimes you just gotta be like, all right, give us some money and we won't talk about that. You know? And sometimes you just gotta be like, all right, let me just get results without someone incurring my wrath. That's called TE maturity. TE maturity. I know what you're saying. You're saying, but why would anybody want to be TE mature? Rachel's face reacting to that. What was it? I don't know. Yeah, so I don't plan to go yell at anybody. Although, of course, that's my first response when I'm in the car.
I thought it was gonna happen today. Like, I was not impressed with that woman's reaction the second time we went in. I was like, "Excuse me? That's how you speak?"
Well, what it seemed like was that she had a conversation with the pharmacist, and he had expressed to her something. I mean, who knows what he said, but he might as well have said something along the lines of, "Get those people out of here."
Basically.
Maybe Rachel likes them submissive and breedable. Is that me? I think you got the wrong guy.
No, that is not what I think of Eric at all.
I am very breedable.
Yeah, but like.
She can breed me.
I can breed you?
You can breed me whenever you want.
Thank you.
Unless, of course, I don't feel like it. Oops, what's that? I don't want any of those things. Stop that. Suzanne made pizza today? How domesticated of her. Rachel doesn't cook too much. Is that thing still doing that? What filter do you want thing? God, why is it doing that?
You want to go in? Hey! Yeah.
He's a bad mamma jamma, and there ain't no taking it back.
Can't help.
There, that's better. You were married to an ESFJ once upon a time. I don't mind being a little domesticated here. I mean, there are benefits to an SI-minded partner, like an ISFJ or an ESFJ, but there aren't things that I value very much. So, and Rachel's actually very much a team player in terms of contributing on chores and everything like that. We have a good even split. The nice thing about not being with an SI type is the lack of expectations. Because SI types expect you to go along with their SI a lot. they want things to remain as they become familiar with. And I'm constantly changing it up between various norms. Like sometimes I go through a phase where I make bacon every morning, and then maybe we won't have any bacon for 2 weeks. Uh, it's like that kind of shit. So I think SI DOMs, SI Tool get frustrated with me because they want everything to be predictable based on their knowing ahead of time for having planned out for it. Like, okay, tomorrow I've got meow, 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 meow at this time and this time. I need you at meow at this time. I don't like being scheduled like that.
That's why, like, I said yes to the, like, Zoom bachelorette party or whatever. What is it?
It's a
Bridal
shower.
Yeah.
Shower, yeah.
But that's, like, not really my thing, like, to schedule, like, a
All right, and then they're gonna want a registry, and we don't really want. We don't need things. We don't really want objects.
No.
We're not like a young couple getting married who needs.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true that we don't really have any dishes, but we're gonna have to get them before the
wedding.
The wedding anyway. So.
But that's just one thing.
Fortunately, I've got my beard band here in my pocket.
I could speak to my mom if that's something that I could speak to her. I was seriously wondering what the heck that round thing was in your butt pocket.
I was too. I pulled it out and I realized, aha, it's a beard band.
A beard band.
It was just something I picked up and fidgeted with. Put it in my pocket, Or I was cleaning maybe and picked it up so I didn't vacuum it. I don't know. It's exactly the sort of thing that one doesn't remember putting in one's pocket.
But now I know why.
Oh, I needed it for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Otherwise, my beard gets too bushy right here. So I use this, Hold it back.
Hold it back.
Yeah, it's like a player in any sport but hockey.
Yeah.
Hold me back. Hold me back. I'm going to front.
They do that. Yeah.
They don't do that in hockey. In hockey, they just punch each other in the face.
Oh my God, that one time when
They just pow, pow, pow. Hockey's great. I love it.
My favorite though is when they take the jersey and
They pull it over their head.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I asked Rachel the tough marriage question today. I think I've been dreading, but I asked her, has she ever slept with Derek Jeter? Fortunately, the answer was no.
No. He wasn't even one of my favorite players.
Because, that dude slept with a lot of different chicks. A lot of them. He's probably slept with half the women in New York City.
Yeah.
So.
That's probably true.
It's like 4 million people or something.
Oh my gosh, that is true too.
It's probably a little bit unlikely that he slept with half of them. But.
He's, I think, a little bit more picky than that.
Okay.
I don't actually can't.
You think he probably didn't include
that.
anybody over 75? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
He could compete successfully for harder to get demographics.
Right.
Like sassy boutique owners from the village. Oh, Derek. Then, after he banged them, he sent them a gift basket full of Derek Jeter memorabilia. I'm sorry, but I think that qualifies as unbridled douchebaggery. But, I mean, I guess that's probably what the girls wanted. They're like, well, I want proof that I slept with Derek Jeter. And he gave him a certificate.
The first thing I'm like is like, ooh, memorabilia that I can sell.
Well, if he banged enough women, there's probably a glut on the market.
It probably is. True, truly.
Can you open that? Or you have your hands full too. Oh, you got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now we're back inside.
Oh,
This is the part of the house that's not subject to the elements. It's also the part of the house where I don't smoke cigarettes. But anyway, Rachel gave me this friendship bracelet. I really think it's special. So, how does an ESTJ flirt and romance? Well, apparently my dad asked my mom if she wanted to come out and look at the engine of his car. Because he had a race car, he had a Mini Cooper. I don't think that's a good strategy.
I mean,
Hey, want to go look at the engine of my car? And no, he didn't mean some sort of innuendo. He literally wanted to know if she wanted to look at the engine of his car. And I guess she did. And then later on, they made a baby. And that baby was me. I was a live birth. And
I could be out.
I commended the doctor on a wholly adequate, if unremarkable, performance
Yes.
on the day of my birth.
But your birth chart is.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean the doctor was. So.
No.
But he was fine. He, like I said, he did a wholly adequate but
Okay.
unremarkable performance.
Okay.
He looked like he kind of phoned it in, but I didn't need a lot of help. I basically climbed out myself, slapped my own bottom, cut my own umbilical cord.
I always knew you were independent.
Yeah, very independent newborn. Very independent. I also slapped the doctor on the bottom.
Was that your gut reaction?
Well, it was just kind of my snide way of saying, why did I have to smack my own bottom? Of course, I had to have one of the nurses carry me over to the doctor's behind to slap it with my little infant hands.
But she knew. She knew that's what you wanted to do.
Well, I told her. I came out of the womb talking. I said, you, lady in nurse outfit. Because I still hadn't quite mastered it.
Right.
Carrie, Eric, over there. Because I was born knowing my name, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I had heard my parents talking about it before I was born, I guess, in the womb.
Oh.
Doctor says, my, this baby is extra meow. Yeah, well, no, he did say that, but it was only after he copped the word from me when I came out of the womb and described his performance as meow.
Oh.
Prior to that, the word didn't exist. And the doctor just copped it, and he put it in a lot of his scientific journal papers from that point forward. Sometimes people think he invented it, but copped it from a newborn. How low can you get? Stealing a word from a newborn. That's the lowest kind of copyright infringement. Copyright infringement on a newborn baby. Anywho, so there were some other things I wanted to talk about before I started this stream besides just the CVS, and then as I was starting the stream, realizing the scope of this mailbox problem. Uh, well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Oakland A's, maybe 6-26. They've got the worst record in the league, but tonight they're playing against Kansas City, who's got the second worst record in the majors. So Oakland may pick up a win or two here, but I'm frankly hoping that they don't, because what I read on ESPN the other day said they are on pace to have the worst record in Major League Baseball since 1899. And that's the kind of accomplishment. Well, it's like that makes me want to watch as much A's baseball this year as possible because I want to be able to say I watched many games of the worst team ever. Because not many people are going to be able to say that. Most people, they don't want to watch a team that's going to lose every game. That makes them fascinating to me. So, their starting pitching is absolutely horrible. And the bottom four of their batting order, is anemic. It just couldn't be any softer. Second base, third base, shortstop, catcher, they're all hitting like under 200. One was hitting 028. There's nothing wrong with the current system except that dumbass lady doesn't want to drive across mud.
Mhm. She says it like I don't know, it would do damage to her car.
Whatever.
We just drove over fine today.
I know. We drove over it today to get the mail out of the mailbox. I don't even have to get out of the car. She doesn't either. She just doesn't want to drive over this little bit of mud. It's like ridiculous. Maybe she's responsible to keep her car spotless or something. I don't know.
Possibly.
Regardless, we're just going to have to fix it and just not fight this battle.
It's not worth it.
That's called maturity. It's called Eric becoming a little bit more mature. And then the CVS thing, we'll have to see how it goes on Monday. Hopefully they get my drugs there, they give them to me, there's no problems. I do not want to have to go back again a third time. I don't necessarily expect them to have it on the first day. Although I would like them to act like they care a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. For real.
And they don't act like that at all. But he looks like A55. Maybe he found enough people into that. Who looks like A55? And what is A55? There's absolutely nothing wrong with our existing mailbox system. Okay? We have a wonderful mailbox. Very high quality mailbox. Approved by the Postmaster General. More sturdy than a lot of our neighbors' mailboxes and stuff.
Yeah.
But she wants to be a bitch about things. And instead of battling her, we're just going to let her win. Derek Jeter, 855. Why would they call Derek Jeter 855? That wasn't his number, was it?
Mm-mm.
It's a
Mail van.
van.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a van. His number was 2. He had the same number as Pooh?
Mhm. He did.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, Ruben. That's a pretty sneaky way of admitting that it's you. Derek Jeter banged Ruben one day.
Wow.
And how was the gift basket?
Yeah. How was the gift basket?
Did it have a signed Derek Jeter baseball? Dear Ruben, last night was great. You're welcome. Derek Jeter.
Was great. You're welcome. You know he fucking said something like that. Maybe he had a little bit more class. I don't know.
He put a bunch of fruit roll-ups up there.
Delicious. I love fruit roll-ups.
Well, better that he put them in the fruit in the gift basket than inside of you.
Ew.
They're sticky. They're hard to get out.
Mhm.
Anyhow, Derek Jeter, Derek Schmeeder. He would really have trouble in today's baseball game because he was the worst committer of fix my glove, stand around, kick the dirt off my shoes, stand over here, do a little dance, do a little twirl, get in the batter's box, timeout, get out of the batter's box, do his wrists, pull his pants down, pull them back up, change jerseys.
And he would like hand signal to the pitcher.
To show when he's ready.
Yeah.
Ah, it's ridiculous. I'm so glad there's a pitch clock now.
Yeah, me too. It makes it so much fun. Like baseball's so much fun with all the new rules. Like
Yeah.
so much
It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have regular access to watching a contender, but we'll get to see periodic Angels and Dodgers games, both of whom are contenders and teams that we like, and an occasional Yankees game or a Mets game.
Yeah.
Um, In San Francisco, they might have a chance of clawing back to 500 and starting to, put together some kind of a run. The Lakers got spanked by the Warriors last night. Needless to say, I expressed dismay and alarm at the performance I saw before my eyes as the Lakers unraveled into a cacophony of failures. You would like to know some of the cat's beauty secrets? Well, There's only two ways, KM, to ensure that you've got plenty of body and sheen in your hair. The first way is to use shampoos and conditioners that maximize body and sheen. And the second way is to eat pedigree brand dog food. Well, which of those two ways do you think Capio uses? She actually uses a third way. The magic of cat spit. Plus a lot of tongue grease. Tongue grease is like elbow grease, but with your tongue. Capio puts.
Mr. November. That's what it's. I forgot that he was like.
Is he Mr. November?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to detract from the Kitty Sheen speak.
Oh, that's fine. I was just thinking about how when I played in the major leagues, they called me Mr. December.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Why?
because I never played any baseball.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad. You don't have any injuries.
All right, yeah, me too. I made the rosters of 7 different major league teams,
Wow.
but I was always just an auxiliary bench player. I never saw a single at bat. I spent 7 years in the majors.
Well, I would brag about that.
Yeah. I made $12 million a year.
Oh.
And never saw a single plate appearance or got into the field even one time.
Did they drug test you?
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
Yeah, that's how much they thought I must be on drugs.
Wow.
There's no way you could possibly maintain a career in the major leagues batting 0.000 lifetime without the assistance of performance enhancing drugs.
You're like me at one of the times that I was playing laser tag with my friends and I got what in the person who worked there said never happened before, a perfect 0.
You got a perfect 0 at laser tag. Wow.
Yeah.
Good job. You're the worst laser tag player ever.
Seriously. I did manage to evade everyone somehow.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Otani? Well, that's why I'm so interested in the Angels. I really want to see the Angels go to the playoffs this year for a change because Mike Trout and Otani are both top-notch players in the league, like 2 of the best players in the whole major leagues. And yet the Angels surround them with mediocrity so much that they usually just fail. But this year, they're in second place behind the Rangers, and 18-13 is their record currently. Otani's hitting fantastically well. He's over 300. I mean, not fantastically yet, but he's finding his stroke, and he's hitting over 300. And he's pitching lights out. He's writing a whole new record book because the only other player that was ever even comparable to him in the first place was Babe Ruth, and Babe Ruth didn't actually do both things for very long. I've not actually heard anybody else say this before, but I think a better, and I think it's a very good observation. I think a better comparison for Otani than Babe Ruth is Bo Jackson, who played football and Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah.
That's
Dad used to talk about him.
that's more a comparable accomplishment to what Otani's doing, playing pitcher and DHing.
That was like major. That's like big time.
Yeah, because they always have this when they had no designated hitter at all in the National League. I think
Yeah, that's
sometimes they
right.
have it now, or maybe they always have it now. I'm not
I
sure.
think they always have it now.
Oh, do they? Okay. When they didn't have a designated hitter, they had the Silver Slugger Award, which would be given to the hitter with the highest batting average. I mean, the pitcher with the highest batting average,
Hmm.
who had at least a number of at bats over the course of the season. And the winner of it would usually have like a 225 batting average. And that would be some pitcher who barely had enough at bats. And they'd all be singles, you know. Um, and then the rest of the pitchers would be well under 200 in their batting averages. So there's something about specializing in pitching that obviously doesn't that doesn't go along well with being a hitter, because for many years you had all these pitchers in the National League who always had to hit for themselves, and there was never any of those pitchers who ever approached even anything like Otani in terms of their hitting skills.
It's really showing what Japan has in terms of baseball. Like,
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
but the A's got a Japanese player too,
Hmm.
Fujinama, and he's stinking up the pitching just like every other A's pitcher.
So I have a question off topic.
Okay.
I have a "Am I the asshole?" question, just like a Reddit thread.
Okay.
So I got senior men's popcorn in a large Coke, and um, asked them to fill it halfway with butter, and then like fill it the rest, and then put butter again. Cause you know how like butter doesn't like go all the way to the bottom. Um, and I didn't tip, and it said like it offered like tip suggestions, and I didn't tip. Am I the asshole?
Um.
So
No. There's no reasonable expectation for you to tip at a movie concession stand. Their prices are already outrageous.
yeah.
But if anything, they're the assholes for suggesting it. But I probably would have tipped, but it would have had nothing to do with that popcorn party story. It would have just been as a matter of course.
Okay. All right. So next time I will.
I mean, don't do it just because I do it. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying I is what I would have done.
Hmm.
I'm glad you didn't because it saves money. Um, the greatest athlete in history is the guy who free climbed Half Dome in 3 hours. Alex something.
The crawling man.
The rock climbing.
Yeah. He was Spider Man.
The crawling man.
I don't mean to reduce it like that.
The crawling man is Rachel speak for rock climbing. Just like cutlets is Rachel speak for lunch meat. We're gonna go do a little crawling, man. Anyway, his name's
It's so opposite of like crawling. Like it's so intensive. Like
but that guy Alex something who climbed up Half Dome in
no.
in Yosemite free climbed it without any ropes or like metal spikes or whatever. Um, just with the only thing he had was a fanny pack that had white powder in it for his hands. He put it into the back of his little pouch in the back of him, and it would come out with like.
My bad. I still. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I was saying this morning, aren't you glad the last time your bong broke, Rachel, that it was me who broke it? Because now, instead of saying Rachel always breaks her bong, I have to say Rachel's bong is always getting broken. Well, it's not just Rachel's bong that's always getting broken.
It's no Eric.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get a new bong. Show media, is it Eminem? Is that who's back? Do cats eat popcorn? I don't know.
I don't know either. They eat bacon.
Yeah, well, bacon makes more sense for them to eat than popcorn.
They eat. Trouble was loving the stew, pot roast.
Oh, good. I was loving it too.
Me too. It was delicious.
We had pot roast this morning
Mm-hmm.
after we streamed, I guess. And my intuition was right. That pot roast needed another couple of hours.
Yes, his intuition was right. It did need a couple more hours.
And it was just, mwah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Fell apart. And just the pork. You didn't need any knife.
It was the flavor of wonderfulness.
It was.
Okay, so I'm going to take off this mic for a second and go turn on the crock pot because I'm going to want to eat some more of that pretty soon.
There's more for dinner?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
good.
more. There. I got this off finally. Okay. So, I'm going to put this right here for a moment. I'm going to turn on the crock pot, and I'll be right back. Quickly, not super long. I'm definitely getting hungry again. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is turn this live stream into a probably hockey watch party. Because if you know me, you know that I love playoff hockey. What with its excitement, its adventure, its learning. It's a truly wonderful occasion for everyone. So let's see what hockey game is on right now. Also, the A's are on. They're playing Kansas City. I could do play-by-play of the baseball game, except from what I understand, all accounts of the game, without express written permission of Major League Baseball, are prohibited. I'm pretty sure you can't stop me from talking about the baseball game. So anyway, what instead I have on is the hockey game. I've got a game here featuring two teams, neither of which I like. The New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Panthers. Here's the deal. What do you do if you don't like either of the two teams? Well, foremost, you root for a good hockey game. It'll be a close game, it'll be back and forth, there will be goals scored, and adventure and fun will be had by all. But secondly, what you do is you root for the home team. That way, you're in the same emotional space as the fans in the stadium.
Okay, so like we're rooting for the Canes right now.
Oh, right, they're not the Panthers. Sorry, Gen Xio. I called them by their football team name. Their hockey team name is the Carolina Hurricanes. That was my bad. I called them the Carolina Panthers. It's actually the Florida Panthers
Yeah, the Florida
in hockey. Florida gets to be Panthers in hockey. Carolina, they're stuck with being Hurricanes. And of course, ironically, in college football, Miami is the Hurricanes and Pittsburgh is the Panthers.
Oh.
So, how Pittsburgh squeezed into this equation, nobody's quite sure. So now we're going to watch the Devils play the Hurricanes. And it's the first period. The game just began. It's 17 minutes and 25 seconds left. Hockey is a game that is very difficult to commentate. If you're going to commentate it, you have to probably be there on the scene, being able to visually see every player's number when you want to see it and know what their name is without having to read the back of their jersey. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time calling a hockey game. So, and of course, the other interesting thing about hockey is they have 4 different lines of players just to play one game because they stop so infrequently. I remember the glowing puck experiment. Who here remembers the glowing puck experiment?
I feel like I do. Was that in the 90s?
I'm not sure when it was, but yeah, they had this streak that would go behind the puck as well. It would let you keep track of it better, but I didn't like it, and most other people didn't like it, and obviously it didn't stick. Because, you really can see the puck just fine. But, of course, also, it's easier now with high-definition TVs than it was back in the 90s. TV.
Ennial, was that, oh my god, Crystal Pepsi, that, and Glowing Pup, those things were both in the early 90s. I totally both remember both of those things.
Interesting, the way they made the puck glow was by submerging it in Crystal Pepsi.
Ew. That makes a lot of sense, though.
They marinated it in it overnight, and then the next day it would glow. It would become infused with the phosphorescent crystals that they used to make Crystal Pepsi. Crystal Pepsi. So the Devils seem to be doing the work in the offensive zone of the Canes at the moment. But we'll see if that stands up. Carolina comes in with the lead in the series at 1-0, so there's a little bit more desperation in the Devils to win this game. Especially since it's at Carolina. If they can win this game, they can walk out of these first 2 games with this notion that they've taken home ice advantage. Not that home ice advantage is worth shit in hockey. I'll tell you that. This playoffs seems like all the home teams are losing.
Yeah, it's true.
Or at least Boston lost. They were the big favorite home team. The Avalanche lost. They were a big favorite home team. Neither the Rangers nor the Islanders were the home team.
No.
Those were both road teams that lost.
Yeah, they did better at home, those two teams.
And the Kings were a road team that lost.
Yeah, it's true. It's true too.
But the very top of the class in terms of the regular season teams, well, that was the Bruins. And they got knocked out in the first round. And it was the defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche.
It doesn't look like that was actually like this penalty, like
Who did they call it on?
Carolina.
For what?
Um, it. They said that the guy on the left hit the Jersey Devils player in the face, but
It's 5-on-3
wow.
for 23 seconds. New Jersey, if you can't score 5-on-3, you're not trying very hard. Of course, really, it's 5
Yeah,
on.
Boston lost.
You're not following hockey very much indeed, Gen X Seal. Boston Bruins had a record-setting regular season where they won more games than anybody's ever won before in a regular season and had more points, total points, than anybody's ever had before in a regular season. And everybody was all like, oh my God, is this the best team ever? And then they got beat by the lowly Florida Panthers in the first round, who then proceeded to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first two games of that series. So Florida is a plucky, sneaky good team, I guess, or something, because their first round defeat of the mighty Boston Bruins proved to be no fluke, as they proceeded to then take the first two games in Toronto and return home with double home ice.
I keep on saying that I've underestimated the Panthers. Like I was like the Panthers, poor Panthers. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And they've been kicking butt. So
Well, that's not surprising, Rachel. Spent a lot of years in that Panther Underestimation Society.
yes. So right now it's still 5-on-3. New Jersey Devil power play.
No, now it's 5-on-4.
Oh, it's 5-on-4 now. Power play.
Skating in the swamp really strengthens the quads, I bet.
Skating in the swamp really strengthens the quads. Wow. I'm sure your quads are, or people who skate in the swamps, quads are very ripped.
Yeah, liquid water is one of the hardest kinds of ice to skate on.
Now, has the Panthers, wait, the Panthers as in like the football team, or the Panthers?
The Florida Panthers are the hockey team.
Yeah.
This is the Carolina Hurricanes hockey team.
Right. And I'm asking Florida, did they? I had a starter jacket. I had a trendy, because it was trendy because of the colors, Hornets jacket. I think they were the Carolina Hornets at that time too. Charlotte, yeah, Carolina, yeah, the Charlotte Hornets. They were. I had a starter jacket. It was like my favorite thing. I didn't know that the Panthers even had one. I didn't even know that they were that, like, yeah, all teal and purple. It was like the girliest one. So that's the one that I went with, because that was like before I got into sports. I really didn't get into sports until I was like 13. When I was younger, like as a kid, I didn't play sports, so I wasn't really into sports. I even made fun of it sometimes. because I didn't understand why people got like so excited, but
Because they
when
couldn't just hide it. They just can't hide it.
and they just can't hide it, and you can't just hide it.
They're about to lose control, and I think I like it.
Oh wow, that fits so well for fans,
Um, I was thinking the
sports
people might
fans.
want to see the foggy mountain across the street.
Yes, let's do
So
it.
let's take them outside and see if they can see it from over here. You may have heard of the song Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Well, they wrote it about this foggy mountain right over here. They being whoever wrote that song. How do I know they wrote about this mountain? Because just like the mountain in the song, this mountain is covered in fog. But Eric, what does fog sound like? Fog doesn't have any sound. It has the silence of death. There. Can you see? Can you see the foggy mountain breakdown? Yes. Foggy mountain breakdown. Long ago, when the forests were drenched in fog. Isn't that nice? Don't you find that soothing? Doesn't that just make you want to go, ah, like that? Just go ahead. Let's spend a moment out here in quiet reflection. Everybody tune up your reflection chakras. We're going to begin quiet reflection in a moment. No, not like that. You're quietly reflecting wrong. And one and two and quietly reflect. And one and two and quietly reflect. That's how you quietly reflect. Okay, never mind. You guys are doing it wrong. Might as well just go back in the house. God. It's like nobody here's ever learned how to quietly reflect before. And I'm sorry, but that's just not okay. That's why now we're going to reflect noisily. I'll use my talking mouth to noisily direct you in noisy reflection. Step 1. Find a reflective surface, such as a mirror or a still body of water. Step 2. Throw a bunch of rocks at it. Step 2. Scream and run around in circles. Step 2 still. Get a bunch of squirrels. These are the ways of the world that you need to learn from me today. If you don't have enough squirrels, how will you ever succeed at anything? Everything in life requires at least some squirrels. I'm currently building my squirrel army on the strength of my woodland cutlet supply. As predicted, there are plenty of volunteers to a squirrel army when you promise to pay them in woodland cutlets. So, let's return inside now. Inside the house. Where the winds of change never blow. Michelle Way. Squirrels took over the treehouse I made in the woodshop. Well, in other words, your squirrel army had a coup d'etat and overthrew you as their ruler, is basically what you're saying. It's called a squirrel d'etat.
Squirrel d'etat.
Yeah.
You're my wiggling cuddly.
Thanks, my darling.
You're welcome.
Bigfoot cover. That's true. Bigfoots are known to be able to hide in the fog. But you know what hides in fog even better than a Sasquatch? A Yeti. And the reason is because, like fog, a Yeti is white furred. So they blend in with fog just as smooth as cream blends in with milk. Very smoothly. These commercials don't make me want to get a Cadillac. They must be marketed to younger people than me.
But they make me they don't impress me either, and I don't like the song at all.
Yeah, I don't like the song. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
If it had a good song, I would maybe feel differently about
But aren't they the one that has it goes like in a circle, and the camera goes upside down, or is it in another car?
it. I'm not sure.
One of them makes me motion sick.
Mm.
Like, I'm like, ugh.
Well, that's something that cars in general sometimes do.
That is true, so it is advertising correctly.
Yeti products are very expensive. Just wait, Michelle. It's just a matter of time till they do the same thing to Yeti fur they did to ivory and fox fur and stuff, and be like, it's cool to kill those Yetis just to make coats out of them. That's what the Yetis are for, okay? So that we can make coats out of their beautiful hides. That way people won't be cold in the winter. Plus, they'll look fancy at the red carpet affair that they're going to.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, this rain's persisted longer than they initially said it
Yeah, it
would,
did.
and it's done us the favor of being kind of socked in, which gives us a little bit more water, but we were planning to go to El Festival de Mariposa,
Yeah.
or the Butterfly Festival, tomorrow, located here in Mariposa, California, this weekend, first weekend of May. It is the time of the Butterfly Festival. We've never gone to a Butterfly Festival before, so we don't know what to expect. Do you... Yeti got canceled. Remember people blowing up their coolers? No. I don't.
I don't either.
But I do know that Sasquatches hate Yetis.
Really?
Yeah, all those big apes are all very racist. Like Sasquatches hate Yetis, hate swamp apes, and then all the crypto apes hate the Loch Ness Monster a lot.
Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, a lot of those crypto creatures are really crypto racists.
Wow. Crypto racist.
Yeah, like the bat creature guy. Oh no, I'm sorry, not a bat. Mothman.
Mothman?
Mothman has published several screeds on the racial supremacy of Mothmen.
Oh, I didn't know that there was.
Yeah. Of course, he doesn't have much of an audience since, as far as we can tell, he's the only Mothman. So pretty much everybody else disagrees with his central thesis that
I'm sorry. What is his central thesis?
that Mothmen are the supreme race.
Oh, okay. So, since there's only one Mothman, right? Or so he says, right?
Well, he
No.
says there are more, but nobody else has ever seen one.
Okay.
He says there's
I believe you.
He says there's tens of thousands of them everywhere, but he's the only one anyone's
He's
ever
the
seen.
only one I know of.
And then sometimes, like, he'll come to a press conference and have on like a fake mustache and pretend to be Senor Mothmano, but it's clearly him.
Like you really just know.
It's him. It's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
So, is it normal that there's so many Batmans?
No, Mothman.
I know, but there's a lot of Batman. Like,
Well, Batman, technically, if you get a crypto Batman, is really just a chupacabra. And, the population of chupacabras goes up and down with the population of goats left unattended.
Oh, so...
Because chupacabras drink goat blood.
So wait, what does that have to do with Batman?
Well, people who think they see Batman or Bat people, they're really just seeing chupacabras. And if you look at the reports, what you'll see is an extremely strong correlation between people who see chupacabras or Batmen and people who live near unattended goats.
Okay, so there have been how many movies made about Batman and a TV show?
Yeah, well, they've all gotten it
they're
wrong.
All about chupacabras.
Well, yeah, they've all gotten it wrong. They've all misjudged this horrible, deformed bat creature, chupacabra, and said, "Oh, it's a Batman." It's only like 1/8 man, 6/8 bat, 1/8 like I guess it's some kind of bison, maybe. Yetis don't drink Bud Light; they drink blood, just like vampires.
Mothwomen never get any press. That's a shame. So Mothman takes all the credit himself.
Yeah, well, I mean, one time he came to a press conference in drag with some illy aligned balloons under his shirt and said, "Hello, I am Mothwoman," but nobody believed him.
So he monopolizes being Mothman.
Well, I believe he's the only one, but he wants everybody to believe he's not the only one.
I can't. I'm gonna fucking die. I don't know why this is so funny to me.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Rachel, if you want to catch a sight of him, all you got to do is leave on the lights at night and then outside, and there's a good chance he'll come flying around. He'll run into the light. Oh, shit, I keep running into the light.
What he does on the way to our lights. He just like hits a bunch of lights.
All right, so he might not make it all the way to our house. There's a lot of lights to distract him between wherever he is on the East Coast and here,
Yeah, oh my god, that's true.
Yeah, he's an East Coast crypto guy. No, I've already told you, Mr. Bobby, I am not turning away children in need of help. I'm sorry. If children come knocking at my door and say, "I've got a good reason, can I please come into your house and make a phone call or something?" Obviously, I'm going to say, "Yeah, come on in. You can make a phone call." Well, I'm not really worried about vampires coming to my house, Bobby.
But chupacabras.
I'm not that worried about chupacabra because we don't have any goats.
Oh, true.
If we did, I'd be worried because we'd probably be leaving it unattended a lot.
There really was a Mothman in the show The Tick.
Was there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's also a Mothman in cryptozoology,
Ooh.
reported by some people. I think he's somewhere in New Jersey, maybe. There's the New Jersey Devil. There's another crypto creature.
Mm-hmm.
There's La Lionyara, or whatever that crying lady from Mexican lore. Remember her? We've seen her on Paranormal Caught on Camera before. She's pretty spooky. There's also leprechauns. Leprechauns are like Irish chupacabras.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're Ireland's chupacabras. People think they're just little men with pots of gold, which they are, but they also have an insatiable thirst for goat's blood.
Oh my gosh. That's what they don't tell you.
They don't tell you
And
that.
they made a kid cereal out of.
I know. Lucky Charms is just inviting people to do goat worship. So, it's pretty bad.
That is. I'm gonna second.
Eating Lucky Charms is exactly the same thing as worshiping a goat.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. You're right, Genexiel. Chupacabras have pots of tequila instead of pots of gold. Michelle Way had a double rainbow the other day.
Oh.
Didn't we also see one?
Yes, we did.
I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. We were
Yeah.
driving to Oakland, maybe, or driving
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
We saw a double rainbow too. Maybe it was when we got your wedding dress.
I don't remember. Were we in Modesto?
Yeah, we went to Modesto to get your wedding dress because Merced's wedding dress store was too ghetto. Like, we had to pay to have an appointment there.
I've never heard of that before.
That's pretty ghetto wedding dress store. I don't mind that we sacrificed our $60 or whatever it cost to make an appointment there. Because for my wonderful Rachel, she needs a dress that's couture.
I didn't even know it was couture.
Well, I mean, I knew it was a nicer store the second I saw it. I was like, this is a better store.
Yeah.
This is more like a proper say yes to the dress kind of experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And we found something that we both liked, which was like important to me. Plus, I think it goes with the theme of our wedding, which is the woods.
It goes with the house because they're both white.
Yeah.
You know, they say a double rainbow means a double hysterectomy. Oh.
Well,
I didn't know that. That's a very specific omen.
So it's still 0-0 in this New Jersey Devil Carolina Hurricanes game, and Carolina has a power play actually right now.
For another 22 seconds.
Yeah.
That reminds me of what I was waiting to do. I'm going to see if that pot roast is ready for service. I'm going to take the internet friends with me to look at it. Let's take a look, friends. let's have a gander at dinner. We got a light right here to make it extra bright to look at. Okay. The lid's hot, but what I'm looking for to see that it's really ready is to see the liquid bubbling a little bit. Then you know it's good to go. I don't see the liquid bubbling yet, so I think it's not really quite hot enough. I found this ladle in the silver. I use that to ladle out some juice. This pot roast is very good. Every part of it's good. The meat's fantastic. The potatoes are very perfectly cooked. The carrots are great. The onions, you don't even notice them because they just kind of melted in there.
I didn't even notice garlic either.
Or the garlic, yeah. And when you put salt on it, it just comes together like pow.
Yeah. So good. So good.
It's really good. So, we're just going to have to be a little bit more patient. And then, once it's hot enough, you guys are going to get to experience some of the most exotic and sensual mukbang you've ever come across. It'll be me, it'll be Rachel. We'll both be eating pot roast. Pot roast is such a lazy name for a dish. Do you think it should be called, like if you were going to serve it at a boutique restaurant, you'd call it slow cooked beef flank with heirloom vegetables and herbs. No, I'll just make necessarily loud slurping noises, okay, Mr. Bobby? There will be some necessary slurping involved.
That's just like standard SI.
Maybe I'll give the microphone to Rachel so you can listen to her eat. It's probably more pleasant than listening to me eat.
I don't know.
You got a point there, Gen Xio. It's not roasted at all.
No, it's not.
It's crock-potted.
It's crock-potted, yeah. Crock-pot beef.
I'll be like somebody in a Japanese cartoon when I take a bite of it.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be so excited to see that.
Itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu.
Do you think it's warm enough? Or do you think I should wait a little longer?
Was it bubbling?
You go look at it and you make a judgment call.
Okay. Not opening it, right?
Don't open it unless you decide you think it's good.
Okay.
Pot roast fat is pretty bomb, though. Yeah. Well, this is I don't know if you were here yesterday, Gen X, or the day when we made the pot roast, which was yesterday. But this particular cut of meat we got at a local farmer's market. He said he farms the cows just 7 miles from Mariposa, which means he's not even in Oakhurst. He's like before Oakhurst. He's probably still in Mariposa County. And yeah, he certainly is. I don't think there's any way out of Mariposa County. So as local as you could get, grass-fed beef that eats natural Mariposa grass. And we got this roast. It was more expensive than beef you get at the store, but not dramatically so. It was $10 a pound.
compared to the store?
It's twice as much.
Mm.
That roast would have cost probably $15 at the store, maybe 20, and it cost 30 at the farmer's market. But it's not like we buy that kind of fancy meat all the time. We generally have pretty good food expenditures because um, we don't hardly eat it. We eat out a tiny fraction of the amount we used to eat out. A few times a week, maybe at most, uh, including like a trip through Burger King or something.
Yeah. We don't even really go to Burger King that much.
Yeah. So last time we ate out was just 2 days ago, right? When we went to the pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time before that was just a couple of days before that. We went to the 1850.
Yeah, that was good.
But then prior to that, it had been a while since we'd gone out to eat. I guess we went out to eat when we drove to Oakland. Oh yeah, we went to the ramen place. That's right. So a few times a week.
Yeah.
But in Arcadia, we used to eat out a lot more than that.
Yeah, we did.
And what saves us a lot of money is not being able to DoorDash anything and not being able to order any pizzas or anything that's brought to your house. And the fact that if we want to go out to eat, we got to go into town. It's kind of a big trek. It's not a big trek like we don't like to go into town, but it's not just drive up the street a couple blocks and go through a drive-through.
No.
We're 30 minutes away from the nearest drive-through, which is Burger King. There's also a Subway in town.
Yes, there's a Subway too.
Well, those are the only two fast food places in town, and only one of them has a drive-through. I think Burger King's the only drive-through in town.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to go out to eat, you go sit down at some place. We like the Happy Burger Diner for just any time, kind of quick meal, whatever. We like 1850 for a nice meal.
Mm-hmm.
But we also like the other two nice meal places.
Yeah, the carriage.
What's it called?
The dining car or the
No, Charles Street
Street
Dinner House.
Yeah.
Charles Street Dinner House.
Yes.
And I think our least favorite of the three fancy restaurants in town is Frederick's.
Yes. It's still good though.
It is still good. A lot of Burger Kings are closing. Might as well enjoy them before they go. Well, they're still advertising heavily, so.
Yeah, and just because it's closing in a lot of areas doesn't mean that it will close like here because it's the only one in town, so it's probably like it is busy.
I didn't hear about
No.
10-year-olds working at McDonald's.
Me neither. That's crazy.
Well, this restaurant is strangely named Frederick's of Savory, which is a strange name because it elicits thoughts of Fredericks of Hollywood.
Yeah, it does.
But savory, obviously, is a food word. You heard Chris Brown had bought a lot of Burger Kings? Huh.
Hmm.
And then he'd go into each of his Burger Kings and beat up women. Is that Chris Brown?
If that
Is Chris Brown the guy who beat up lots?
Yeah.
Yeah. And be like, listen here, woman, you're in my Burger King. You're subject to my rules. Pow, pow, pow. So we're watching the A's game. The A's, remarkably, are up 4
Oh
nothing
my gosh.
in the bottom of the third inning.
Wow. This is remarkable.
Well, anyway, the A's are winning, and that's not common. It
No,
looks
it's
like
not common.
it's at Kansas City. They're on the road. It's the first game of a road trip they played in the Coliseum last night. Of course, the A's are not content to hold a 4-0 lead. They're going to open the bottom of the third by giving up a leadoff double to Kansas City player number 17, whose name I can't see at the moment. Dozier. Dozier just laced a no-outs double into the right field corner. Well fielded by the A's right fielder. Made it into the shortstop. He slid, but it could have been the stand-up double. Now we've got Muller, who's the A's pitcher, and he is pitching to Kansas City player number 41, it looks like. He throws a strike after the initial ball. Jackie Bradley Jr. is now facing a 1-1 count. Muller, with his sprightly green pitching mitt, stares down at the catcher, checks the runner at second, throws home. Catcher drops the pitch, but not far enough away from him to allow a stolen base on a pass ball. Now, here comes the next pitch. It's a swing and a miss. The count is now 2-2. The runner's still holding on second, Dozier. The pitcher hasn't thrown to second yet, so he's still got 2 throws over there if he wants to make them. But Dozier doesn't look too serious about stealing third. And the pitch is coming home now. Well, stroked to the first baseman. And the out is made at first, with the runner advancing to third base. The last of the 3, Mr. Bobby, I believe. Rhymes with closure. Number 11 is now at bat for Kansas City. That's Mr. Garcia, I guess. He's the 9th hitter, apparently.
Hey, Keisha.
Hello, Acacia. And the pitch comes home on the 1-0 count. Fouled off. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Yes.
Bobby Brown just like crack.
Bobby Brown likes crack. I mean, who doesn't enjoy a little crack? Muller comes home again. Muller. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's 1 out. And Acacia is at the plate batting for the Kansas City Royals, hoping to get the runner at third home, either by a sacrifice fly or perhaps a base hit. Oops, almost a pass ball, but the runner has to hold at third. Catcher, Shea Langoliers, hitting .209 on the season. Big disappointment. I mean, you don't expect a lot from your catcher, but .209, come on now. Anyway, he's a good enough defensive catcher, I suppose. Muller, looking in at the catcher's mitt, 4 seconds left on the pitch clock. He comes home. It's down and inside. Missed for ball 3. I bet Whitney and Bobby Brown both just peed on the kitchen floor.
Yeah, I bet that too. I think you're right.
Garcia takes a nice cut at the 3-2 pitch, fouls it off. And he's playing Derek Jeter and redoing his batting gloves, re-velcroing them in between pitches here. Now he's at attention, ready to receive the pitch. 8 seconds left on the pitch clock. Mahler fidgets with the ball, then comes home. Pow! Right down the middle of the plate, fouled off again.
Come on,
It looks like it's in play, and yes, it is caught in foul territory by the first baseman of the Oakland A's, Mr. Noda, 49. A weak hitting first baseman, but competent enough to catch that foul pop up.
Yeah, he was confident enough. He did the job. I'm happy.
Whitney seriously was tough. There's a reason she liked Bobby, and she was the one in control in that relationship, low key. That's because every time Bobby Brown started acting up, she'd be like, "'Cause I will always love." And he'd say, "Okay, shut the fuck up, okay, fine."
I want this pot roast to be like ready.
You think it's ready?
No, I think it needs to go.
Gen X feel that is way too soon. How long ago did Whitney Houston die? At least like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
She was murdered in cold blood. By whom? Do you think maybe it was the same guy who murdered Tupac? I think the same guy murdered Kurt Cobain, Tupac, and Whitney Houston. Have police ever investigated the possibility that there's a celebrity serial killer
There could be. I mean, well.
who only serial kills celebrities?
Oh.
And that's how Kurt Cobain and Whitney Houston and Tupac Shakur died.
Maybe even Prince. They said
Maybe
it was
Prince.
drugs, but
Maybe Michael Jackson.
Maybe Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it was the same guy who killed John Lennon.
Same guy. It is the same guy.
Or it could be that same guy.
Started then.
Whoever the heck put in jail for killing John Lennon was probably the wrong guy. They're called star whackers. You heard of Randy Quaid? He spoke out about them over a decade ago. Really?
Oh.
Well, if he's like most celebrities, he says all kinds of stupid ass shit. I mean, I barely ever encounter a celebrity who doesn't say stupid ass shit.
And I was like thinking they were gonna bump into each other.
Mark Davis? I don't know who Mark Davis is. He fled to Canada with his wife. Are you sure he didn't just move to Canada with his wife? I know you like the dramatic verbs, Bobby, but...
I think it is a legit thing.
Does he put Busey to shame? Randy Quaid is fucking nuts. I think it was Mark David Chapman. Acacia, I believe. I did not see the movie about him.
All right, Rachel. I'm gonna serve myself some of this.
Okay, then I'm gonna have some too.
Okay.
Of course, he was mocked by the press. Look at the Gen X comment, a reflection of how media took it. Randy Quaid. I mean, but maybe he really did. See, like, actors can be so pretentious that, like, you can't tell where the line blurs, like, the line blurs between reality and, like, their own made up bullshit. Like,
Surround themselves with yes men.
I'm glad you like that voice, Mr. Bobby. It's inspired by the voice on SpongeBob who says 3 days later. 3 days later. That one. Starwhacker is another word for Illuminati kills. It's definitely real. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, we need salt and pepper.
Yeah.
John performed a hit song. Shoot.
I'm glad you like it, Mr. Bobby, though.
Shall
I'll
I?
use it. Yes, please.
Shall I?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Wait a second. Are you trying to say that Courtney Love killed Heath Ledger too?
Wow, Corey Love is busy.
Mm-hmm. The Olsen twins are suspects in Heath Ledger's death?
Yeah,
Really?
because it's rumored that Mary Kate Olsen provided Heath Ledger with the drugs. But I don't know if that's what they're getting tried for.
Well, it's up to Heath Ledger to do his drugs successfully.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the responsibility of his drug dealer.
Right. So, like, are they, like, looking into the drug dealer death of, like, Prince and, like, the guys from the Doors? Like, I don't think they ever did. Like, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
If the guy's dead and you're trying to take away from him ownership of his own actions. Well, are there any drug overdoses or suicides that you don't find suspicious? Because people do overdose on drugs and or off themselves. Some percentage of the population.
Yeah.
Mmm,
So good.
it's so damn good. I may have to have myself a second bowl.
Mmm.
There's no celery, Genexiel. There are carrots, potatoes, onions, garlic, beef broth, red wine, and a pot roast.
It was a great combo.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the meat's phenomenal. It's so good.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get myself more.
Okay. Yeah, the red wine, like, I don't know, it adds something to it. So does the beef broth. Like, I think. Yeah.
It's funny, even with the beef broth, you gotta add quite a bit of salt.
Yeah, you do.
It's very much shy on salt. Once you do add the salt and a little bit more pepper, it just explodes with delicious flavors. So if you want to know how to make this pot roast, well, all you have to do is go back a couple of live streams. The one called Pot Roast with Rachel and Eric. And I walk you through the whole process. All you need is a crock pot. And the ingredients. Then, well, I guess me mostly, but me and Rachel were working together in the kitchen. I'm going to go ahead and confess something. Once you have all the ingredients in the crock pot, the only really real step there is to put the ingredients in the crock pot. I mean, you got to chop them up a little bit, but.
Yeah.
By cooking things in the crock pot, you guarantee yourself some pretty simple recipes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just put all the ingredients in, cook indefinitely.
Yeah.
Do I believe that John Hughes is overrated? Possibly a little bit. I think the reason that people rank him so highly is that they keep getting him confused for John Holmes.
kind of love John Hughes, and I kind of love his movies because, like, when I was growing up, the movies that were on TV were the movies from like early '90s and like mostly '80s. So, like like 16 Candles was on a lot.
What do you like better, Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles?
16 Candles. Pretty in Pink was good, but I like 16 Candles better.
What do you like better, 16 Candles or Breakfast Club?
Breakfast Club is so iconic. Like, it felt like it was so like upbeat. So I would say Breakfast Club.
How about Breakfast Club or Ferris Bueller's?
I think still Breakfast Club. Ferris Bueller is so good too, though. I think, but you said it didn't age well.
For me, it feels like a slow film.
So that's something to consider.
I haven't seen any of those other movies as an adult. I don't think I've ever seen 16 Candles.
I've never seen Weird Science.
I've seen that one.
All these movies, like, I watched when I was like 13, 14, 15. So, like, you know,
Yeah.
they like are part of my SI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that pot roast is the kind of surprising good that when you first like eat it, you think, "Oh, this is good," and then you finish the bowl, you're like, "Oh my God, I
So
gotta have
good.
more of that."
There's definitely some left.
I'll probably eat a little bit more. You were watching a therapist analyze the characters in the Breakfast Club? Well,
No, I don't. There's like, so like, I can understand John Hughes movies like not totally like standing the test of time because like there's a lot of like racist things in 16 Candles.
really?
Yeah, they have like a exchange student who's Chinese, and they have like racist. It's hard to say what else it would be. It's supposed to be funny, and
It's played for laughs.
yeah, and just
It's not gonna age well at
it's
all.
not, no. The guy's name is Long Duck Dong. Yeah. So. You do refuse to believe that? Oh yeah, I refuse to believe that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck didn't have help writing that movie too, because I don't know, I just do.
Well, I bet whoever helped them got paid a lot of money to keep his mouth shut about it.
Yeah. What haven't you seen, Alec T? Good Will Hunting? It's a good one to watch. It's like good 90s movie, I guess. No, see that's the thing, Acacia. Neither of them have written. Well, actually, Ben Affleck, I don't know if he wrote, but he directed The Town. I don't know if he wrote it though.
We're gonna end up finishing all of this pot roast. None of it's gonna go to waste. And we're gonna get. We've already gotten a total of 6 meals out of this pot
Oh
roast.
my gosh.
We had 2 each for breakfast this morning, dinner last night, and dinner tonight. So, you know, that's that breaks down to not such an outrageous expense meal wise.
Yeah.
It breaks down to $5 a meal for each person.
I've heard Will, or I've read on like Cafe Personality and stuff that people think that Will is an INTP.
I don't think that's a bad typing for him.
Personality, whatever, personality database or something, yeah. Borderline personality, but he's not very violent.
I mean, he could only. The only way you could say he displays borderline personality is if he displays
Yeah.
attachment disorder issues. You know, I don't remember well enough if he displays that or not.
Meow. Want some stew? No. Kitty. Kitty.
Top. Mm. This is a
He was
triangle
violent?
of garlic.
Oh, he's always getting in physical scuffles? I forget that movie. So maybe he was borderline. It's hard to flesh out.
It'd be more likely to be antisocial personality
Yeah.
disorder than borderline personality disorder, which normally expresses only the people closest to you.
Hmm. I think antisocial. He comes off as very antisocial. Will. Will Hunting.
Well, that certainly can be the precipitating event slash cause of BPD, but it doesn't mean that every instance of somebody being abused as a kid results in somebody with borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
It is the case that everybody with BPD has been abused, but that doesn't mean that everybody who's been abused has BPD.
Mm-hmm. So it's now 5-2 in the A's game. A's are still winning, which is good. They have a player on first base, and number 5 is at bat for Oakland. Tony Kemp, 2 for 2, double and a single. So he's hitting well tonight. Let's see. He just took a strike. Oh, Acacia, I would definitely recommend seeing it. I mean, it's kind of like, it's got these like early 90s or mid 90s like vibes to it. A lot of people like Robin Williams in it too.
What movie are you talking about?
Good Will Hunting.
Oh.
When I think of the best movie of the 90s, I think of The Sixth Sense. Now, like, obviously, like, it's a big joke now. Like, a lot of people joke about it.
What?
The Sixth Sense. Like, I think that was a good.
It was a great movie.
Yeah. For.
Yeah, it was super great. I just want to say that a good title for a movie nowadays would be Bad Bill Cunting.
Bad Bill Cunting. Okay, so what would that movie be about?
It would be basically the same story as Good Will Hunting, except instead of being a genius, he'd just be this guy who was always a cunt to everybody.
That's sort of like a mixture of John Hughes in there.
Well, and then he meets a professor who helps him become a world famous cunt.
Silence of the Lambs was 91. Yeah, I don't know when The Sixth Sense came out. I know I was younger though because I couldn't actually go. Really, Joe Osmond was at your grandma's house. That's pretty cool. Jurassic Park was a good 99, so it was the end of the 90s. So can't really like, I mean it can, but it's hard to have. Did Cruel Intentions come out in 99 or was that 98? I know, I'm surprised that was 99. Was 99 one of the best years for best movies? I had no idea cuz I was young. So like I wasn't able to like really take advantage of the movies that came out at that time because I was 14, so I wasn't able to go. Well, PG-13 movies I guess I was able to go into. Can you list some of the See, like it was a good decade, but I was like a terribly shy, awkward kid, and so like my childhood was good because like I grew up before, the internet, so I played outside a lot and like, used to call friends to hang out, make play dates. So I had that for a while. But like I was painfully shy and I had a lot of there was a lot of bullying going on. So it was like I think of the night I look back cuz the 90s was such like a happy time for like a lot of people. But I look at that time and I'm like, "Oh, I had such a hard time." Like I just like I had a better time in the 2000s. and I've been having, but 2000 the aughts, I had a better time. Like, yeah. Office Space, American Beauty. Okay, American Beauty. Okay, Office Space. All right. I'm sorry to hear that, Acacia. It's like, you know, it's sorry to hear that. But the 90s had like great TV too. I mean, although they said the golden era of television actually started with Mad Men, which I agree. I agree. Mad Men was on at the same time as like or it, you know, like AMC had Mad Men, Breaking Bad. It really did start the golden age of television. But the 90s had good television shows too. Yeah, the golden age of TV is definitely 2007 to 2014. Yeah, it got, you know, college was like tough for me a little bit too. I went to my freshman and sophomore year was like really tough because I was from New York, so I stayed on campus. Um, but a lot of like, I went to school in Pennsylvania, and a lot of the kids in the school were from Pennsylvania, so they would drive home during the weekend. So I'd be like left on campus with like no one around and nothing to do, and it was like painfully boring. Oh my god, it made me so depressed. Like, and I'm someone who's an introvert, but like just like being in an environment where there's supposed to be people and activities or to do, and not having access to those activities like when I wanted them, um, like really like made me like second guess my choice of school. But once I was in my junior and senior year, I moved off campus with an ESFP and an ESFJ who were very social in school, and they moved off on off campus to purposely like stay on campus and like socialize and party and stuff. So my freshman and sophomore year wasn't that great, but my junior and senior year when I moved off campus and like met people who were social, I really liked it. You know, I kind of had a good combination of like hanging back and hanging out online because I really liked using AIM back in the day and like MySpace and Facebook. So I would like hang back and I would like spend a lot of time online, but I was also like going out and like meeting people. So yeah. Well, actually, Mr. Bobby, I was kind of spending a lot of time on my phone at that time. I would text a lot, texting. Um, I loved Facebook before it became public. I loved Facebook because I'd be able to like miss class, like skip class, and have like connections with people from my classroom. So I'd be able to like message them on Facebook and be like, "Hey, like I missed this class. Like, what's the assignment for the week?" So that's why I liked Facebook because I used it as a student to get me out of missing classes. Oh yeah, my screen name for AIM was fucking terrible, and I couldn't figure out a better name for myself. It was so it was XX Rachel X.
Oh, sure, that's gonna be popular. Okay. I think I'm about ready to wrap up this stream. It's been nice chilling y'all with y'all. And we love you. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.